I have a dream. We shall overcome. These are words uttered by Martin Luther King and others at the forefront of the civil rights movement over 50 years ago. This is the year 2016. Think about that. 2016. And the events of this year in particular have me thinking that we are so far away from the promise of the 60s and Martin Luther King and the civil rights efforts, even further away than ever at this juncture. And it saddens me. I am making this video because we need to speak up. As of now, as of this day, I have all of 36 subscribers. I'm new to YouTube, but you know what? I'm going to speak on it. And those with a platform, no matter how big or how small, need to speak on it. Because things have to change. And we have to be at the forefront of that change. So put down your MAC brushes for a minute. Stop buying the foundation for companies who don't care enough to make them in our shade range. Stop contouring your nose and speak up. I am absolutely devastated by the shootings of those police officers in Dallas. It's not right, you guys. I'm sorry, it's not. As horrific as it is to see the police brutality, the police treat our people like savages and murder them in the street, on camera, as infuriating and heartbreaking as that is not an excuse for that type of violence. Two wrongs don't make a right, and it doesn't make it even, because we are practically about to start a race war. How does that benefit anybody? You guys, I think about this world that we're living in, and it's scary. I mean, America is going to hell in a handbasket, and it frightens me. My nephew, who is the most wonderful, bright, well-behaved kid. He's a college student. He, takes care of his brothers and sisters. He's just a great kid. He is everything that you would want your 19-year-old to be, a 19-year-old, male to be. But because he is a black male, one day when he's driving in a car, that's not going to matter. It's not going to matter that he's a great kid who's done nothing wrong. He's going to be stopped for no good reason just because of the color of his skin. That is the reality for us. That is the reality for our people. And when white people say, oh, they're playing the race card, that really, really infuriates me. Firstly, because this is an experience you have never had and you will never have. And also because the race card is inherent to our deck. That's the card that we have, because that's the card that's constantly dealt to us and has been and continues to be. Don't get me wrong, guys, please. I am not a racist by any means. My entire family is integrated. My husband, my ex-husband, God rest his soul, was a white man. And I'm not talking Eminem white. I'm talking long hair, tattoos, Harley Davidson, Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne white. So I know that racial harmony and love can exist and does exist because I have it in my family and I've seen it around me. But the unrest and the mistrust and the hatred it's just reaching a boiling point in this country. And the thought of my nephews or even my nieces being subjected to the indignity of the police stops or the unjust treatment that may even lead to their unjust arrest or even worse. Look at Sandra Bland. Sandra Bland she and I lived in the same community. Naperville is the so-called most, one of the wealthiest cities in America. And if she were a white woman from Naperville, she would still be alive today. But as a black woman from Naperville, she's dead under circumstances that never should have occurred. You guys, I'm just speechless. Well, obviously not speechless. I'm just hurt. And I just feel that I need to voice my sentiments. And hopefully this will get other people talking in a positive way. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, everybody needs to get together and say no more. Please don't get me wrong. We in the black community have a lot of work to do on ourselves. The reality is my nephew is more likely to be killed by a black man than he is by a white police officer. Sadly, that is a fact, and that's a fact we can't escape. The black on black crime is just an abomination. I live in the suburbs of Chicago, aka Chirac. And the murders and the shootings and the gang violence that occur here, that's a reality. That's no joke. There's crisis in our community. But it is a situation that is so ingrained in American culture. Why is it that the people of the inner cities have liquor stores on every corner? Why are drugs so prevalent? 35 miles from where I live, there are no drugs, no liquor stores on my street corners in this nice, lovely, primarily white little suburb where I live. There is a disparity, people. There's a disparity in education. There's a disparity in resources. There's a disparity in treatment between black, white, between the minority and the majority. And we see that. We are seeing that more and more every day with every film that is released by a police department. This is something, the police brutality and injustices, that's something that's been going on in our community forever. This is not news to us. We know this. We've always known this. Imagine what has happened over the years. We're just seeing a snippet of what goes on every day, what has been going on forever in our community. There were men in Chicago recently released after spending almost 30 years in prison, after being tortured into confessing crimes they did not commit by the Chicago Police Department. This is a fact. It's just horrendous that a person can do that to another human being and go home and sleep at night like it's nothing. You guys, something has to give. And we have to take responsibilities ourselves for how we treat each other. It's not just them, it's us as well. We have to work harder to save our children, our sons, from jail, from disparity, from hopelessness that leads them into gang violence. We have to fight harder and demand that our community, our government leaders consider us and include us and provide us with the resources that we are equally entitled to. But we have to do this in a non-violent way, because that's what they expect from us. The violence, the thuggery. We have to be above all that, you guys. We have to speak up. We have to try to make a difference in whatever way we can. You only go around once, you guys. This is the only life I have. I mean, I don't know if people talk about reincarnation, but they haven't proved it yet. So as far as I know, this is it. It's time to make a difference. It's time to stop turning a blind eye. It's time to say, oh, that's their problem. All of us collectively have to say no more. America is supposed to be this great melting pot. We always speak of diversity. But you go into a newsstand, any newsstand, and you will not see anybody who looks like me. None of the models on the covers of those magazines, except for Oprah. And Oprah had to make her own magazine in order to have someone who looks like her on the cover. Think about that. There are no Asians. There are no Hispanics. You get the odd Jennifer Lopez cover, but that's it. You get the odd Beyonce cover. That's it. And you got Oprah every month. That's it. Television, movies, magazines, they are not inclusive. And I think that contributes to the division in this country, the separation, the racial unrest. It's so amazing to me that after all this time, we are still so racially divided. It's amazing to me. It's shocking. It's embarrassing to me. But the media, I believe, strongly promotes and encourages this sort of racial division. I'm sorry. When do you ever see the middle class black family? The parents, the two-parent household, where the father goes to work every day, the mother goes to work, they come home, they carpool, the quote-unquote normal black family. You never see that, at least not in this area. Where are the people like me? Where are the black families? And we know they exist. We just don't see them. We don't see the positive. We don't see the good. And whenever there seems to be a situation where whenever there is someone who does something positive, something good, there's something that comes out to sort of diminish them and knock them down. Some scandal, some this, some that, to taint them. I don't know, guys. I know I'm going on and on about this, but I'm really disturbed by what's happening in this country, to the point where I'm actually thinking about leaving it and going abroad, at least for a while. This just hurts my heart. And we need to stand up, you guys. We need to get on YouTube. We need to get on Twitter. We need to get on Instagram, whatever form that is available to us, and say no more. We need to hold our government officials accountable, our government leaders, our local leaders, and say, Black lives matter. Black families matter. Black education matters. All of it matters. We all matter, guys. We're all in this together. And we all matter. Thank you for your time. And I hope other YouTubers will follow my lead and speak out and encourage others to do the same. We can't go on like this, guys. This country is about to implode if things don't change, and change soon. Thank you for your time. God bless everyone. Bye-bye.